Hi, I'm Beth Calder. I'm the University of Maine Cooperative Extension Food Science Specialist.
I'm Jason Bolton. I'm the University of Maine Cooperative Extension Food Safety State Educator. And as we're preparing for the holiday season, it's especially important to be aware of safe food handling techniques to avoid foodborne illness. So today we'll be talking about proper etiquette when dealing with a turkey and also how you handle your leftovers safely. So the first step to general food safety handling is to make sure that you wash your hands for 20 seconds with warm soapy water. And this is also important with any food preparation. You also want to make sure that you keep your raw items, especially raw meats, separate from your cooked items. While on that overall concept, you want to make sure that your utensils are separate for raw items and cooked items, and that when you're done using them, that you wash them very well. So when prepping a holiday meal, one of the important things is determining your defrosting method of your turkey. There are three major turkey defrosting methods that the USDA is certified. The first one is cold water, then there's refrigeration and microwave. All of these thawing times depend on how large the bird is and how much it weighs. The first method we're going to talk about when defrosting a turkey is the cold water method. It's very important to remember that the water cannot actually make contact with the actual bird. You don't want any of the juices that are inside the bird making contact with the water. The packaging that the bird comes in is suitable for that actual barrier, but it's also recommended to grab one of the bags at the grocery store, tied at the top, making it watertight so that no fluids can transfer. The water temperature needs to be 40 degrees or lower to ensure proper thawing. This sometimes requires changing the water pretty regularly, up to every 30 minutes. So the next method we're going to talk about when defrosting a turkey is the refrigeration method. This is the easiest and most hands-free. It's also recommended by most food safety educators and experts. This requires putting the bird into the refrigerator. It's important, just like in the cold water technique, to make sure that the bird is packaged tight and so no juices can leak out of it. Once again, putting it in the bags you can get at the grocery store is recommended, or some sort of plastic bag that seals. Now, when actually determining the placement of it in your refrigerator, it is recommended to try to put it on the lowest shelf, where if it does leak, it doesn't leak on the rest of your produce, therefore contaminating everything. And lastly, it's about 24 hours for every 5 pounds of turkey, so you want to make sure that you plan ahead. So the last method we're going to talk about when defrosting a turkey is the microwave method. Now this is the most difficult. Reason why? You either have to have a very small turkey or a very large microwave to get it in. Now if you can actually get your turkey in your microwave and you don't have to apply force or jam it in there, you can use this method. It is important to follow the directions of the particular manufacturer of the microwave that you have in order to determine how long you need to actually defrost it for. Usually it's around 3 to 7 minutes per pound on the defrost setting. Once you've defrosted your turkey, now it's time to cook it. Here are a couple tips that you can use to actually cook your turkey. You want to remember that you need to set the oven to 325 or greater. It's recommended that you actually don't stuff your turkey. Reason why is it doesn't necessarily cook very evenly. If you do decide to stuff your turkey with stuffing, you want to make sure that you test the internal temperature of both the stuffing and the bird. To test the internal temperature of the bird, it's recommended that you test the innermost thigh and wing to make sure it's reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and also the thickest part of the breast to make sure it's reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
Next, we're going to talk about safe food holding and also leftover handling. You want to keep your hot foods hot and your cold foods cold. Do not leave perishable food items out for longer than 2 hours at room temperatures. If the house is extremely warm, say 90 degrees Fahrenheit, then this time period drops to 1 hour or less. The reason being is that bacteria that may cause foodborne illness can grow rapidly in the danger zone at temperatures between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to divide your leftovers into smaller portions and place them into reusable plastic food-grade containers or resealable plastic bags, and either refrigerate or freeze your foods quickly. So remember the 2-hour rule. If foods are left out at room temperature beyond 2 hours, you will want to throw them away. For additional food safety information, please visit the University of Maine Cooperative Extension website.